Part 39. The Days Gone By. One day, my younger sister and her husband visited my house after a long time. When she saw my gray hair, she bursted into tears. I liked it best not to dye my hair after I retired. I did not itch my head or have dandruff, but even my mother-in-law, who was over 80 years old, dyed her hair. She told me that I looked like an old man because I did not dye my hair. I decided to dye my hair again, although it was annoying. Time flies. I am now approaching the threshold of the elderly generation. I usually take care of my health. I walk or exercise lightly whenever I have time, but I don't enjoy sports and I am not good at it. When I took the middle school exam, there were 4 physical tests: 100-meter running, broad jumping, ball throwing, and chin-ups. I did not do a single chin-up, and my ball throwing score was below average, but I was good at running and broad jumping. The physical fitness test was considered an extra subject, so it greatly helped our overall test score. It greatly affected the success of the entrance exam too. Since all the students are usually lacking in exercise, they practice a few days before to prepare for the physical exam. One of my friends who applied for the same middle school with me got a severe muscle ache after excessive physical training. Eventually, he was unable to attend the preliminary meeting, and unfortunately, he could not take the test. It was a very sad thing. We must bear in mind that sudden exercise can cause muscle pain in both arms and legs and have them become immobile. When I was a student, I learned Hapkido, a mixed martial arts, and judo at a training hall for more than a year to train my physical strength. However, I was not able to move my body quickly, and I was rather slow because I was not athletic enough. Whenever I played soccer in the neighborhood, I always played as a fullback. Those who are the worst are bound to take up defense. On the other hand, I liked long distance running the most. As I ran for a long time, my legs and my throat would hurt, and my chest would become stuffy. But I felt really good when I got over the physical pain and got to the target point. I could taste the sense of accomplishment that I had overcome. I used to go mountain climbing a lot in my youth. I have been to most of the famous mountains around the country, but now as I am getting older, it seems like it has become a hard course. When I go up to the top of the mountain, my legs hurt and I feel dizzy. However, if we endure the hardship while climbing, our legs will naturally follow in the ranks of our colleagues. Even a course that is difficult to accomplish alone, we can do it with many people. I enjoyed climbing the mountain, challenging myself to reach the top and to conquer the mountain. In my early 20s, I recklessly climbed Mount Hala in Jeju Island during the raining season without any climbing equipment with my friend. We got lost in the darkness, but managed to climb down the mountain. After I was discharged from the Army, I participated with my colleagues in a winter hiking contest held by a famous tourist company and won second place. When we came down the slippery mountain covered with snow, we ran down like angry wild boars. Vigorous youth passes like wildfire. When I was in my 30s, I started playing tennis. In the 80s, tennis was a popular sport for young people. I took lessons on a tennis court in an apartment complex and in a nearby middle school playground. I am not good at ball games, so I could not play a formal tennis game while I was playing tennis. Tennis seems to be a fairly fast and strenuous exercise. If we play tennis too hard, we are likely to suffer from elbow arthritis, or so-called tennis elbow. By the time I was in my mid-40s, I began to learn golf, which was considered an aristocratic sport. I had to play golf in order to communicate with people outside of my office. Golf is basically an exercise in which we have to learn club swing posture properly. The time when I started going to the driving range was just before the IMF crisis happened. Back then, golf was not very popular. Golf was a sport enjoyed by the rich, and people considered golf a sport for lobbying. So, most people regarded golf as a negative sport. At that time, government officials and famous politicians went to golf courses using aliases. But now, there are many golfing people, men and women alike, and there are more golf courses across the country. Golf has become a popular sport. At one time, we used to plant trees in dilapidated mountains everywhere. Those days were only 30 years ago, and now they have been cutting down trees in parts of the mountains to build golf courses. After learning the basics of golf, beginners go to golf courses with help from others. They say, he puts his hair up for the first round. It is not easy for a beginner to go to a golf course and play normally. When I first entered my first tee on the first hole of the golf course, I was fascinated by the green grass field that stretched out before me. I felt like a star when I walked out on the grass swinging a golf club. A few years ago, a park golf course was built on the riverside highlands of the Namhan River. I started park golf at the recommendation of a friend who moved to Yeongpyeong. He said that there was a park golf course in Yeongpyeong, so we moved here. The Yeongpyeong Park Golf Course is regarded as the best one in the country. The course along the Namhan River has a beautiful view. The river and the green field combine to create a beautiful view. A park golf course is similar to a regular golf course, so the elderly and the disabled can enjoy a golf-like sport. Since I had played golf, I was able to adjust to park golf very quickly. I made a hole-in-one a month after I started. It is relatively easier to make a hole-in-one because the fairway is shorter and the hole cup is bigger than in a regular golf course. Fortunately, residents living in Yeongpyeong can play free of charge. I used to play park golf with two couples who moved to Yeongpyeong. We even made a rule that a hole-in-one player has to buy a meal for all of us. Our three couples took turns buying meals. It was more pleasant to have dinner together. When I go to the park golf course, I always see people with disabilities. One middle-aged man has a slim and handsome face, but he does not have a right arm, so he grabs the golf club with his left hand. Another person goes out in a wheelchair hitting the ball. Even though his arms are severed, he still enjoys park golf. He swings with a golf club under his arms, which makes little difference to a non-disabled person. Park golf seems to be a great outdoor sport for the disabled. Whenever I see the disabled playing park golf, I pretend to be indifferent. Whenever I go to the park golf course, I really appreciate being able to live as a non-disabled person, and I promise to continue to be grateful.